Hello everyone, and welcome to Training in My Life. Today's London vlog starts at the train station where I'm waiting for my train. I'm going to northeast London today to a place called Walthamstow, and we're going to see if we can find the Wetlands Nature Centre. Join me and see what we see. Right now I've got to the station half an hour early for my train, so I'm walking up and down the platforms just to keep warm. It's a beautiful blue sky sunny day, but it's very chilly, so I'm keeping myself warm, walking backwards and forwards. I figure it gets some steps in for the day, and it's really peaceful just walking and listening to all the bird sounds this morning. It says it's an ancient house. Certainly looks like an ancient house to me. Well, let's try and get it without the sun in my eyes. There, very ancient. Came across it completely by accident. There you go. My plan for the video this week, it started off okay, but it didn't quite get there. So I was going to go to Wetlands Nature Park. It's got lakes and walks and stuff. But on the way there, I was going to film some street art for a short. Now, what actually happened was the street art was further away from the station than I thought, and because of that, by the time I got back to the station to then start walking in a different direction half an hour to get to the Wetlands Park, it was too far to walk, knowing that once I got the other end I had to walk all the way around these different lakes. So basically I didn't do it. I came home, and I have to do it on another day when I go directly there. And what I might do as well is look for a different one that's closer to where I live, so that the journey there doesn't take so long. Anyway, I had some footage of that which I may or may not put in this video, but also there was a few weeks ago when I sat in the kitchen and did a video painting a little glass bowl. Well, I started painting it. As you can see, there's some sky, a cloud, a hill, and I started painting it because it didn't look very spring-like in the colour, because it was sort of this rusty brown colour in it, orangey brown anyway. And I was chatting whilst I was doing that. So that video never made it out because I was testing out a new camera and I was looking the wrong way all the time. And even now, when I'm using this one, I'm having to remember to look at the little green light over there and not actually my face on the screen, because if I'm looking at my face on the screen, my eye contact isn't with you, my eye contact is away, because the actual camera is filming from this side. So yeah, this is like paint a bowl, take two. But in fact, I mean, I'm trying to think how many weeks ago I did this, but anyway, I hadn't finished doing it, and I still have some paints to use up and a brush, so I thought I'd give this a go. I am also filming it on the GoPro, which I hope will give you a close-up view of it. So how are you doing? Because it's Easter now. This is the Friday of a 4-day Easter weekend in the UK. So the first day that people will be off work. And I travelled through Central this morning to get to where I was going, and everywhere there was loads and loads of people dragging cases, big backpacks and stuff. Clearly they're setting off for the first day of an Easter break somewhere, or the start of a vacation, I don't know. But it was it was very crowded with people and cases on the transport, and it's nice. There's a sense of like there's something good happening. They're going somewhere where they're anticipating having a great time. So it's very nice. Yeah. So, and even though what I was doing didn't work out with the Wetlands Nature Park, I did get some street art which I wanted to do. The street art I'm getting, I have to. Originally, I'm on the one I filmed this morning is Street Art 14. And originally, because I live in an area which has a lot of street art, the first 2 to 3 I think were all just filmed locally around where I am. And these do change from time to time, not very often, but when they do, then I refilm them and insert them with other London street art. But at the moment, I find at the weekend I have to actually travel to a different area to film street art. Which is always interesting because it's quite often places that I don't go to often, and things have changed. And also there was one area I went to where there was a real lot, and once I've filmed 10, I know I roughly have enough for a short. Sometimes 12 to 15 go in it, depending on how short the clips are. But as I was walking, I knew I'd had to go back to that area because there was so much. Anyway, having gone back, I realised that something that I'd filmed literally the week before had been painted over. And it was a good, don't get me wrong, what replaced it was good, but what was there was good. And I thought, people in this area must not get the chance to appreciate things before, boom, they're gone. And and there's new stuff there. So I thought I must remember to repeatedly go back to that area because things are changing all the time. Yeah, so yeah, this is the first day of Easter. Now, I've actually booked 2 weeks off work, plus Easter, so I have 18 days to enjoy off work, which gives me lots of chance to go out and about and do some filming. And one of the things I was going to go and do today is to go to a beach and paddle in the sea, because anyone who's watched my channel knows this is a running theme, that I haven't been and walked on the beach and paddled in the sea yet this year. Now, to be fair, we've had some temperatures around 20, but they're quite often, like today, accompanied by quite a cold wind, and because of that it doesn't feel as if it's hot enough to be paddling in the sea. But yeah, it's on my list for the coming week to do that, so next week's video may have that in, although I should know never to promise things like that in case it all goes wrong. Because I think that's it, when you're out on location you can never guarantee that things will work out, you know, and especially in London, I think you can go to a train station thinking you're catching a train to somewhere, and then, you know, it's delayed or cancelled, or, you know, something just goes wrong. And quite often if I'm going anywhere, there are connections, it's not just one train. So we'll see. I'll stop waving the paintbrush and start painting with it. Okay, bowl. I don't know. Now let's see. We've got a hill, we've got a sky, we've got one cloud. I think actually I found white and the cloud is cream, and I found white that I can put on my cloud. So well, we could do other clouds. You know, sometimes when you gaze at the sky and it's got big white fluffy clouds in, I always call that the Simpsons sky, because it looks like that the start of the Simpsons with the white clouds in the blue sky. White, we have white. I'll try and hold it. Oh, there's a problem. If I hold it up, then you won't see it in the GoPro. Never mind. It can just be a bit on the GoPro where you don't see it. Okay, I know I'm doing the other side of it, but I'll turn it round in a minute. Yeah, so how's your Easter going? For a lot of people, it's the first sort of break in the year once they've gone back. There you go. Once they've gone back after Christmas. And for me, it feels like my first break since Christmas for sure. But I was ill at Christmas as well, so I felt like I had 2 weeks off at Christmas but hadn't had the chance to enjoy it. I am finding trouble. I have to look over here in order to be looking into the camera, but because my image is over here, the natural thing is to look over there, so I'm trying desperately not to. Focus on the green dot, focus on the green dot. Right, we'll paint another cloud. This vase, I've got some yellow artificial flowers going in it, which is kind of spring-like, but it just, the background colour of this vase is too sort of autumny, so I think I'm going to put a cloud up in the sky bit. There we go. Put a cloud up in the sky bit. Oh yeah, they're looking better. They're either big floating sheep. Sorry, focus on the green dot. They're either big floating sheep or they're clouds. Isn't it funny though? When you turn that around for the GoPro to have a look. When you paint clouds, we all do that. Boom, 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 a kind of shape. But when you look at the clouds, you know, you have those days when you look at those fluffy clouds in the sky and you can see shapes in them, and you know, ooh, that looks like an ogre lying on his back, or that looks like a bull in a field, or that looks like, I don't know, I really don't know. But when you paint them, you never paint clouds in the shape of things that you've previously seen in the sky. And I think it's because you have to actually be looking and your imagination clicks in and shapes it into something. Whereas when you're painting it, that doesn't quite work. I think I'm going to paint over the yellow cloud. It was just I didn't have any, or couldn't find the white paint at the time. So I must have picked up some different ones. These are just old paints from paint by numbers I've done in the past, and they were sort of left over, because that's one thing, if you do a paint by numbers, they never give you exactly the right amount of paint. There will always be leftovers and spare bits, and make that come a bit more. Now I'm starting to do them up into the sky. I'll make it go like that. Oops. There we go, another cloud. I'm not sure I want to do clouds on all sides, but you know, I've got white paint, so why not? I think I'll do a low cloud. Well, you know, when there's white fluffy ones, they're not low, are they? They're always high up in the sky, so there we go. Yeah, so I hope you're enjoying your Easter, whatever you're doing with it. I think there's two sort of kinds of people that will be, there'll be some people that, like, they got home from work yesterday and they packed their case and they're dragging it across to an airport and they're getting on a plane and they're off on a vacation. And there'll be some people that are like that, and there'll be other people that are just like, oh, everybody's going on vacation at this time. The children are out of school at the moment, so people will be, they'll all be going on holiday. Everywhere will be booked up, everywhere will be very expensive, because they know that people go at this time of year. And so they're going to go at a different time of year, and they're simply having a staycation at home. And they'll be completely chilled and basically doing nothing. And my vacation from work is sort of a staycation, because I am home, but I do plan to do day trips out to different places, as well as mowing the grass. We all know about the fact that I've been avoiding mowing the grass. I'll show you some photos in a bit. At the moment, there are loads of dandelions growing on the grass, which are They're like a yellow flower, and they're those ones that turn into like a puffball head of seeds at a certain point, and if those seeds float away they make zillions more. And this is all very well, but dandelions are weeds, and you don't particularly want them in the middle of your lawn because they sort of spread their leaves. They've got a very long root and they spread their leaves, so they take up space in your lawn where grass should be. There was a weird thing in more recent times. People actually eat dandelion leaves in salads, but dandelions are definitely a weed, and I don't know. I've never really felt like pulling them out and eating them. I think because that I garden, then to me psychologically these are weeds. I think if you didn't have a garden or it wasn't something you enjoyed doing, then they wouldn't be, and you wouldn't think twice about eating them in a salad. But I no, just they're weeds. Okay, I've finished with my clouds. Lights flickering. We have one that I'm just using the spotlights off the ceiling in the kitchen, not my regular lights, because I didn't want to mess with lights in my glasses. And I can see one of them's flickering at the moment. It needs a new bulb, but it's one of those things where it keeps coming on and going off, and I haven't got a ladder tall enough to put it in, to be honest. Look, strobe. Yeah, so if it's happening, it's happening. We're not going to do anything about it. Well, I suppose we could put the deflicker on when I edit, but yeah. What I might do is just go and switch it on and off, because sometimes that cures it, and it will give me a chance actually to give you a look at my Easter display on the kitchen table, so I'll take off the tripod or just move you around. Hang on. That's the end of my table. That's my carrot tree and my little display. Okay, and you're back. The light is sort of a little bit better, but don't forget to look at the right bit of the camera. There you go. If I move it that way, then I hopefully look at the right bit of the camera. It is very difficult, and what I realised was I have recently updated my phone, which I'm using. It's the camera on the phone, and I thought I didn't have this problem with my other phone. And then I realised that because my other phone had lower quality video in it, then I probably wasn't exactly looking in the right position, but because it wasn't such high quality, it wasn't so obvious. So yeah, I mean, I must admit, it is a pain. Like when I recorded the previous video of me painting this, it was good quality content, you know, it was interesting, it was enjoyable, and then I was looking the wrong way and I thought, I can't put this out. So what I will say to you is, if I'm looking in the wrong direction, I'm still putting this out. I must admit, it's really strange not having the green screen behind me. The green screen's upstairs in my bedroom, and I'm sat in the kitchen, and it's just like a duck egg blue wall behind me. But it's really odd to do that and know that when I do the edit, I can't put something here or here or here or here or here. I mean, less distracting, I suppose, because it's just me. But the other thing is, when I used to not use a green screen but film in my room, I would create a background with interesting objects on. So yeah, it's really odd not to have anything behind me. I've got Barry on the table in front of me. Now, the dog that is usually, or has often been actually, in the podcasts is called Buddy. But Buddy has a twin, and Buddy's twin is called Barry. And Barry is the kitchen dog. That noise is me dragging him across the table. So Barry looks the same as Buddy, except for the fact he has a tag around his neck that says Barry. So So I know them to be different. And I don't know, just by default, Barry ended up being in the kitchen, not at this house, the previous apartment. And yeah, and so now he's always in the kitchen. Right, back to painting. Now I don't know. See, I was just thinking I could put some sheep on those hills. But clearly now I've done like big white clouds. That's not a good idea because they're too much the same, aren't they? No, little white things with sticky black legs. We got black. Yeah, we have got black. I was trying to do it all very, I don't know, very spring, summer type things. I suppose I could do more of the sky. The sky stopped around the top. I could bring the sky down so it met the clouds, and then do some seagulls, or well, birds, you know, that little chee chee, chee chee, chee chee, that people do to make it look like there's a bird in the sky. Yeah, Easter plans. I have a few. There were things like, I started a list, and there were things like waterfall, right? Now I've done this before and tried to find waterfalls in London, and when I have, they are waterfalls, but they're not very big waterfalls. So it's like, you know, you've got to go to somewhere which is a big sort of, I don't know, hilly place somewhere out of London, which has water that falls further than a couple of feet. But yeah, that was on the list. What else was on the list? Oh, go a boat trip. I fancy that. I like being on water. I can't swim. Yeah. So the thought of falling overboard gets to me after a bit. But yeah, there's like a regular ferry that goes up and down the River Thames. It goes all the way up to Greenwich, and there's Greenwich Park and Greenwich Naval Museum and stuff like that. And then going in the other direction, there's Richmond with a deer park, and there's Hampton Court, which used to be one of Henry VIII's houses. But yeah, I think, I don't know, I don't fancy doing a video of me walking around Hampton Court because I think it would be boring. I mean, the history is interesting, but you can just walk through so many rooms of big paintings and bits of furniture. I mean, it's not going to hold your interest. And quite often, if I go on location, I find I can film like an hour's footage, and out of that, only use about 5 minutes. So that's the only thing. Oops, I dropped my brush. I should do the blue sky while I'm rabbiting. Rabbiting, he said. Yeah, I thought about getting like a rail card that you could go anywhere in the UK. And I did look at the price of those, but it's like £97 for 2 days. And it did say you could break up the days, so if you went somewhere and thought, oh, I want to stay here for a bit, then you could use the other day later in the month if you wanted to. You didn't have to use them consecutively. And then there was a 4-day one and a week one, blah, 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 but they got more and more expensive. So I did consider the 2-day one, but I thought because of the cost of it, you would be travelling a lot. You would be going somewhere, you'd be whizzing around filming and then back on a train to go somewhere else, and again whizzing around filming, and I thought that doesn't sound very relaxing. And whilst I want to get some footage that is like a backup that I can use if I should have a week when I'm like I've got a cold or something and I can't go out filming, or I don't feel well enough, things like that, little bits and pieces. I'd have some backlog that I could just say, oh, I'll just put that out this week. So they wouldn't be old, but they would be, you know, within the month that I'm putting content out. Yeah, so I looked at that, but in the end I did decide that maybe that's just a bit too expensive. It's not to say I haven't looked at some rail tickets to go to places I want to go that haven't been expensive, like £60 return. If you go into one place at £60 return, you might as well have 2 days at 97, and those rail passes are unlimited travel anytime, get on any train you feel like, which really appeals to me. The idea you don't have to book in advance and you can literally go to the station and get on any train you feel like. I like that. that really appeals to me. More painting, less talking. Well, no, let's paint and talk. Yeah, so at least when I'm looking at this and painting, you know what I'm doing. So you know why I'm not looking at the camera. But that means I don't have to worry about which way I'm looking so that I get it right. It's one of those things. I mean, I could have put out the previous footage, but it's like you want to make eye contact. You want to connect with people that are watching. You don't want to be looking in the wrong direction. So that's why I didn't put it out. But yeah, I did just sit at this table exactly like this and paint and chat, basically. Yeah, the list. So we explored rail cards. That was the next thing I explored. So we've got waterfall, boat trip, rail cards, and of course the paddling in the sea thing, which that talking about that has been going on weeks. I also, I'm torn. There is a place there I used to live on the south coast of England, and it costs about £65 return. A lot of money, which is why I don't hop on a train every weekend to do it. But the beach is very fine sand, sort of not white like the Seychelles, but still reasonably light, goldeny, veering towards white. And you get other beaches that I can get to a beach for £20, but it's like gravel, tiny stones. And there's another one which is like big pebbles. These aren't particularly comfortable to walk across. I like to be on a beach where I can have bare feet and wander along on the sand and then to the sea and paddle in it. So it kind of takes away the joy of it if there's massive great rocks or gravel. So yeah, it's finding the right kind of beach. But there's also another thing that's crossed my mind, is to go to a beach. I went once, years and years and years ago, and it was just after a storm, and there were massive shells about, I'm looking at my hand, about half the size of my hand, were these huge shells all over the beach, collected loads to take home. But that was years ago, and I thought it'd be interesting to go back to that same beach and see what the beach looks like ordinary, not after a storm, just ordinary, and what it was like, because I couldn't tell you because of the fact that I'd only seen it that one time. Yeah, that was something on my list to do. Oh yeah, because I like painting stuff. Sometimes when I go on a route in London, the bus goes past a little cafe which has ceramics in it, and the idea is you go into the cafe, you buy a tea or coffee, but you also buy a piece of ceramic. Might be a bowl, might be in the shape of something, might be a vase, might be an animal, I don't know. And then you sit and paint it, and then they fire it in an oven and you come back next week and collect it. And I quite fancy doing that, but it's a bit, it's more over towards Heathrow Airport, and I'm in the opposite direction to that. And it's whether I want to go in that direction to do it or not, and whether, because it's Easter holidays, they'll have sort of workshops for kids and there won't be room for me to do it. I don't know, but I did quite fancy that. The other thing is I don't know whether they'll let me film. So, you know, that's another thing. If you go in somewhere, sometimes they don't want you to film. And of course, if there's a lot of other people there, then again, they don't want you to film. So at the moment, you've got me. Look, look, look. We've got sky around the clouds. So yeah, that's coming along. That's coming along. Maybe it'll be a series of me doing things with this. Our kitchen table here. Oops, nearly dropped the paintbrush. Our kitchen table here, which I don't know whether I can turn you around so you can see it. It's all neat and tidy at the moment. At the moment. It wasn't last night when I came home from work. And it's just one of those things. The kitchen is the first place I go to when I come home from work. And inevitably, you drop things on the kitchen table. I just leave it there for now. And then another few days goes by. And soon you can't see the kitchen table. It's just this heap of stuff. And I'm sure there are many people like me who do that. But last night I was like, it's Easter. I want some kind of Easter decoration display on this table. And I cleared it. And as soon as I cleared it, I thought, I seriously don't know why it's not always like this. It's so nice. I mean, there's the whole... the light's just gone off again because it's the little flicker in a minute. Yes, there's the flicker. But yeah, neat and tidy. And I'm not like, oh, everything has to be spotless and this has to be there and that has to be there. That's not me at all. But it's like having a place. I've sat down here to do this, and I will sit and have a meal here this evening because it's clear, you know, and sometimes you get in the habit of dumping stuff and just forget how nice it is to have somewhere that's clear. Back to the clouds, or the sky in the clouds. There we go. It's quite quick and easy to do the painting of this, actually. This is me being quiet because I'm concentrating. Which isn't really the point of the video, is it? It's supposed to be a natter. I felt so great leaving work yesterday, knowing that I have a big break from work and I can just completely forget about it. And I do this trick where I tell myself I never have to go back. Sorry, it's the light again. Yeah, if I leave work for a vacation, whether it's a staycation or a away vacation, I tell myself I don't have to go back, ever. And because I do that, I kind of enjoy my days away from it so much more. I mean, there's loads of people that they take vacation days and their brain is still at work and they're still checking emails and stuff like that from home. It's crazy. You need to switch off. I did think about doing that thing where I'm sorry, I can't fix that flicking light because it's on the ceiling. The ceiling is very much taller than me. I did think about, back to where I was. I did think about doing one of these times where you unhook yourself from all electronic devices. So you leave your phone at home, or you just switch it off. You can carry it with you, but you just switch it off. Or you go to one of these retreats where there's no electronic devices. You hand your phone in and your iPad or whatever when you check in, and you're not allowed to have it till you leave. And I did think about doing something like that, but I would need to get ahead in my videos so that I could schedule them to come out at the usual times whilst I was doing that, so that I didn't sort of just disappear off of YouTube, because that's not fair to people. They get used to seeing your face. They get used to what you do and you being there on certain days. So yeah. So I've considered that, and if anyone's ever done it, please comment below. Tell me what it's like. I mean, does it completely relax you, or Does it drive you insane? Are you thinking, I just want to switch my phone on? Or are you, this is nice, look at that tree? I don't know. I did fancy, that's another thing I want to do while I'm on vacation. Going back and revisiting this practice of forest bathing. I've done a previous, I can't remember if it was a short or a video. I think possibly just a short. But yeah, there's this thing about forest bathing where you go to a wooded area and you wander around. Oh, it's flicking a lot now. You'll have to perhaps pretend there's lightning in the background and that it's a green screen with lightning going. Yeah, you're supposed to walk amongst the trees, but also not completely clear your mind, but let it go where it wants to go. But be smelling the scent of if you've got damp ground and leaves, and go over and touch the trunk of a tree to feel the bark on it and stuff like that. It's supposed to be about using all 5 senses in relation to your surroundings. I'm still talking to me instead of that light up there, and I should be talking to that light up there. It's very difficult. I wonder if I could stick a post-it, a big like orange post-it above there, and to make me look that way. But yeah, it's difficult. By the way, we're doing pretty well here. Look, we've got a lot of sky, and then I'll be going, I need more greenery. I remember when I did the whatever it was, a shorter video, whatever it was on forest bathing. When I did it, I found it wasn't what I expected, and I had to actually find a wooded area, and I went to an area that I'd never been to before, and yeah, it was different. It was very relaxing, and at the same time you were using your awareness, you were using your senses. So you were just more in the moment, I guess, when you're doing it. And you do feel more slowed down because you're stopping to like breathe in, to sniff things and listen. I mean, there's always loads of birds if you're in a wooded area. Unfortunately, I remember when I was filming it, I kept having times when there were planes going over, and I thought, this is not it, this is not what I'm after. But it's London, you know. And I was still in London, I hadn't gone out of London, just to a different area. There is an area which is wooded not too far away, but part of the pathway is closed off, so you can go part the way and not all the way. And the problem with that was, I thought, well, if you're sort of following a path to the end of it, you want to sort of go through and go to the end of it. And also there wasn't a lot of room for going a different way, or for sort of not, if you had people in front of you and people behind you, that wouldn't work. You know, if it's an area which is visited a lot by people. I mean, when I film, I tend to go out early morning. So like this morning I was up at 6:30. I mean, that to me is a lie-in because I get up at 5 for work. So it was a lie-in, but then, you know, I was on the train by 8 o'clock. But it does mean where I'm heading to, there's not so many people around so that you can get footage without lots of people not in the way, but in the shot when you're trying to film something. And I think because I'm used to being up early for work, I do kind of prefer that time of day. Okay, let's just look at that. That's looking pretty cool. I'm liking that. It's funny, it's been just sat on the fireplace, half done. Woohoo! Okay, we can go all the way around with this now. Look. That bit looks a bit see-through. Maybe I'll make it a bit more. I mean, they're not special paints to paint on glass at all. Like I said, they were from a paint by numbers. So I hope you're having a good Easter. And if it is one of those where you're not really doing anything, at least you get to relax. At least you get to do whatever you feel like. Hopefully at least go for a walk once a day just to get some fresh air, which is always good for you. And just enjoy the time. I will leave the green on the bottom to it to film another time, so that we'll be back here talking to you, painting this. It's a really nice bowl though, so I don't know whether to do green to the bottom. Yeah, I mean, I don't, because it's like that, those dark orangey browny flecks, I feel like I need to cover that up. Yeah. Oh, and that painted vase that I put in my shorts for Mother's Day, I have, oops, things are falling down as I pick them up. I have used it to put my Easter tree in. This is actually like 3 branches from the pound shop, which had these fake eggs on. Actually, no, 2 branches from the pound shop. And then I bought these little carrots. I think the branches were £1 or £1.50 each, and the carrots are £1. And not this year, I bought them last year, otherwise I would have shown you when I'd put it together. But this painted vase, not talking to the right bit of the camera, this painted vase I did as a Mother's Day thing, and I'm using it because the front is these little fishies. I'm using it to put these in. My carrot tree. There you go, carrot tree. I love to decorate a table for the different events of a year, and Easter is one of those. Right, I hope whatever you're doing for Easter, it's a happy Easter for you. So please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and come back next time. Bye for now.